What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark.
And I'm Brent. Let's get started. Hello. Looks like Mark might have dropped off there. So, welcome to the Legion of Comics. Oh, there he goes. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, he just kicked me. I'm back.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to the Legion of Comics. I'm Mark.
And I'm Brent.
And if you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know when future videos are dropping. Coming up here soon, we're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit that 200 subscriber mark. And we're almost at 150 right now. We've got some good momentum going on. So hopefully it won't be long before we're there, and we'll announce what we'll be giving away when we get closer to that point.
Definitely. Make sure you guys hit us up in the comments. We're going to be discussing some good books tonight. And, get in on the conversation.
All right, let's take a look who's in the chat before we get started. We got Burke in here. It's morphin time. It sure is. We'll be talking about Power Rangers tonight and looking forward to what's coming up this coming week as well. And there's Do You Have Beans right there. What's up, brother? Yeah, just if you want to jump in, just message me whenever you're ready. All right, so yeah, man, welcome back to At Weeks End. It's our weekly video like to do where we take a spoiler-filled look back at this previous week, what we picked up, what we read, what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy. And yeah, just it's good to have you back.
Oh, yeah, it's good to be off of nights as well. I was a little under the weather yesterday and ended up passing out super early last night. So just glad to be able to do this again.
Yeah, we definitely do still get to have our discussions all throughout the week as we're reading these and everything, but it's nice to be able to put it out there and try to get some feedback and some other perspectives and everything.
Definitely.
But yeah, just going ahead and kicking it off, I'm just going to go through my books that I picked up this week, just kind of flash through them real quick, and we'll jump right in. I'm going to start with the DC stuff because normally I'm more DC heavy than anything. But I got the Batman Superman issue number 13. I couldn't resist that B cover.
Nice.
Again, sucker for painted covers, and that's just a beautiful cover.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, Superman looks awesome right there. And then we got Detective Comics 1029, the ripoff of the Watchmen show's Glass.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked about the artist for that.
Feels like just a filler story, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Fantastic Four Antithesis number 3, and I was kind of excited about this, just having Neil Adams on it, but if that wasn't the second to last book, I would drop it. And finale of 3 Jokers, got that cover A, of course. Brent and I both have the complete 15 cover premium variant sets that are coming, but we got the 1 in 25s as well. And I did go back and grab that second print because it's done in the same format as the premium covers, and to have a full set of them, you got to have a full set of them.
There you go.
And then, of course, Death Metal Rise of the New God, which I really enjoyed, and looking forward to talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
No. What's up, Justin? Yeah, we're going to mention that background, too. That background is part of the conversation tonight.
Thank God
yes,
it's
it is,
over.
Bert. Yeah, and unfortunately, that quest for that expensive wall started before that Hulk 181 came around, or I probably wouldn't have gone for all those timeless variants at that time. But I'm not passing up on Alex Ross if I don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
As you can see with my next pickup, Immortal Hulk issue number 39. And I'm excited to talk about this one. Really excited about it. And then we had the finale of Draken New Dawn. So number 3 of 3 came out. So there's the there's that Montez foil variant.
Very nice.
Just the standard cover A. And then my buddy in Belgium's copy. I want to send him a full set. And then, of course, the Chadwick Boseman tribute to Spawn. And probably the last issue of this I'll pick up. I'm enjoying it, but I'm kind of cutting back on my box. That's Mega
The
Man
Mega
Trading
Man.
Cards number 3. Yeah, and I'm honestly enjoying it. I have no knowledge of Mega Man whatsoever, other than
Right.
My original Nintendo Mega Man 2 game. And so just from that standpoint, it's been fun. Just not a huge fan of the artwork, and if I could trim anything down, that's on the list.
Oh
And
yeah.
Department of Truth number 2.
Oh
Just
yeah.
keeping in the vein with the issue 1. I like the cover B for issue 1 with her on it. So there's that one. And then the big one for the week, The Last Ronin. And there's the Eastman cover. But yeah. It's funny to you, not to my wallet.
Yeah, I
Is he a
think
big
really.
Alex Ross fan, Ruben? I did watch Bueller's interview with CBCS earlier today while I was at work. I had to go fill in, so I was able just to kind of hang out at work and be present in case the staff needed me for anything, just kind of point them in the right direction they needed to go. So I was sitting there with just hanging out with my daughter at work, just chilling on the clock, just having fun. And I was running that CBCS interview that he did, which was really informative. Yeah, yeah, not in agreement with you on that one. The artwork is, but Draken New Dawn number 3 equals poo is what he says now. But I suggest anybody to go watch his video from last Thursday night, where his opinion of it slightly changed in real time. To where the artwork wasn't great, but that was a well done story, and that is definitely the book of the week.
Yeah, I myself, I do enjoy the artwork.
All right, that makes more sense right there. I was happy with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. We are in agreement on that one. I like the artwork myself, and I like that it kind of put a definitive cap on that particular story, but also laid an Easter egg for what's to come.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dive into that because I felt 100% open ended to me.
Oh no, I meant like the story that they had been telling as far as like with that particular that 3-issue miniseries.
With Eclipta.
Yeah.
Well, not even really with her, but just with I guess just with Kim finding her footing back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some questionable art, to put it nicely, that's for sure. And I'm just gonna flip to this quick page real fast. Yeah, look at that the stance that he's in. He looks like he's holding a big invisible boulder and he's trying to pass it off.
Yeah, no, I can understand
And then
that.
her face is rough. The art is definitely rough, but what my thing is with it is I'd prefer this over what Mighty Morphin 55 was. Just because the little details in their faces and stuff, I can get past that because the actual flow of the story, like the panel to panel work, is smooth. The action sequences are smooth. It's easy to interpret what you're looking at. With 55, I think it was Daniele who did it. It was just convoluted, man. It reminded me of like when we were talking about this, and I would read an issue, like get to an issue before you did that day, and I would tell you you're gonna have to read it slow just to keep up with the actual panels in it, because it was just, I don't know, it looked like a jumbled mess at times. But I am excited about the new teams coming up for the new books or the series split, because I think that we've hung in there long enough. This book has been successful enough that they can get some better tier talent on it.
I agree. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the split as well. Although even it seems like that they were still going to be telling like two sides of the same story, at least to start off with, because of I would say Draken just to begin with. At least the beginning of the split is going to be kind of how they were going back and forth with each issue with Mighty Morphin, how like one was Omega Rangers, another was Mighty Morphin and stuff like that. So I think that we're still going to get that, but not in the same series, at least to start off with.
I had read where the Omega team is supposedly going to come get Draken from the Mighty Morphin team, and there's going to be a little scuffle there. I
Yeah,
don't think it's going to take long for it to kind of just
like
to split out,
diverge.
yeah, onto its own because we already have
Yeah,
like I don't know with the Imperial and stuff going on with the Omega, and Zed still kicking in the Mighty Morphin realm there.
for sure.
So I don't know. I'm just really excited to see what's going on, and I'm sure Burke already has the answer to these questions. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the way Draken New Dawn ended. So many little mini series like that fall short and everything, and like Brent
Yeah,
said, they kind of wrapped this one up, and Kim got her footing and everything, and the land of the coinless. Like no, there's no bad guy resolution. There's not supposed to be with this. It was major cliffhanger,
yeah.
but the whole point of this story was Kim was coming home and trying to figure out where she fits in, and that's what it accomplished with this 3 issue series, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next. And I'm gonna I was having a conversation with Bart, and he was wondering if the comics will ever let them kind of graduate to Zeo, and I told him I doubt it, being that Mighty Morphin is kind of like the most iconic and recognizable team, but there's tons of people that different teams are their Power Rangers that they grew up with. And
Yeah.
having this book with this kind of divergent storyline going on, it gives this team the opportunity, since now that the Mighty Morphin power source is done for, to go after a new source. And Kim, after Beyond the Grid already being present for all of those events, knowing that there's the whole Zeo planet with the crystals and everything, that's a good opportunity for them to explore going and get the Zeo power crystals.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember after we got done reading it, that we were kind of like, so we got Andros that's going to be bringing in whoever this next big bad is, and they're powerless. Like the coins have been shattered. But I also thought that was kind of a cool commentary on just people in general, as how, as far as like initially they gave power to everyone. So just kind of meaning like, hey, everybody is powerful in their own way, but then taking it away, they still defeated Eclipta, which is really cool because it's like you don't need power to be powerful or anything like that too. So I thought that was kind of a cool. That's what I got out of it myself. I
As
don't know
tough
if
as
that's
she
what they were
started
going
out, I
for.
don't know how they managed to do that. Like thinking back on it now, as you're mentioning that, as tough as that chick was, I wonder how a small mob of powerless people were able to take her out.
Yeah, well, Scorpina like stabbed her in the eye, and that made her
Yeah.
get super small or whatever, or back to normal size. And they just, they mentioned fire ants. They just overran her, dude.
So if I'm ever in a fight with someone bigger than me, I'll just scream fire ants before I charge them.
That's the only way.
It's the only way. This is the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm excited for Andros to be in there, and my little theory having nothing to go on other than the fact that he was present on one page, and it looks like between Eclipta and him, they're almost kind of like a herald for Dark Spectre. I think it would be cool, super cool, if it was his sister Andromeda, that this is her in this coinless universe. She's not called Andromeda; it's Dark Spectre. I think
yeah,
that would be an awesome little twist.
that would
Or
be
at
cool.
at the very least, like she gets brought into the story where she's trying to save her brother from this fate or something.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be cool if they kind of had a role reversal type of thing where he was the evil one, and then maybe she was not so evil.
Yeah.
Because
Maybe
it's
she's who gets them to their next power source or something.
yeah, that would be pretty cool. It's
Dulcia.
yeah. Oh man, don't even get me started.
Yeah, you're blushing.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it is really cool how we have this sort of other timeline or universe, the coinless or Draken universe, and then you have the divergent Mighty Morphin timeline, so they don't have to adhere to really anything as far as like the original series or any kind of storyline goes. They can pretty much do their own thing from here on out, and that's even evidenced with the new Green Ranger as well.
Yeah.
So that is going to
Yeah. At this
be
point, this split, this it's almost like it's a split in the series and a split from the original ties that bind them to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't
'Cause-
necessarily like mean that they have to move up to Zeo or anything like that. They can stay in the Mighty Morphin team or universe as long as they want.
yeah, and it's because up until this point, everything that they've done had its foundation in the TV show. You would have time jumps in
Yeah.
the series, or you get a little asterisk that refers you to the material they're talking about, and they would refer you to an actual episode of the show. And
Right.
now we're past that. There's none of that left to do, at least not with the Mighty Morphin team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting to
Oh yeah, I'm definitely
start picking
stoked
it up
for it.
now. Yeah.
Tell me what you think of Department of Truth issue number 2.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was really cool how I was kind of expecting them to sort of stick with these larger conspiracies and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see it get a little bit more personal for Cole, the main character in Department of Truth, with the Satanic Panic from the 80s and everything. So I thought that was a really good way to keep it like not necessarily grounded, but personal, and make you sympathize with him a little bit more rather than just kind of throwing him into this larger universe. And yeah, I did think it was kind of funny when he was like, yeah, my husband mentioned reptiles, and she was like, yeah, they're damn hard to kill.
Yeah.
Just kind of like confirming it, but just mentioning it as like as a one-off type of thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's not wrong.
Yeah. Or the
But
Santa
yeah.
Claus.
Yeah, Santa Claus.
Only had to do that
funny.
twice.
Yeah. But I think, it's pretty interesting. And I was thinking about this because we had talked about it before, how me personally, I think that his Starface boogeyman type of thing is going to be like one of the only real things in this universe. That he might have been like the instigator for Satanic Panic rather than the other way around. And because they did mention in the book that they don't have a lot on that guy. Like all these other conspiracies, they have these crazy intricate like systems with yarn and papers all over the walls and stuff like that. But when it came to Starface specifically, he's like, there's not really much on him that we have. And, but there is this, this one video where this little girl had pretty much explained the same thing that Cole had that Cole had explained when he was a kid, with him eating a baby in front of him and saying, don't tell anybody or else the devil will get you. And I think that's another thing too, because it's like it's supposed to be this, bigger belief system that makes things real. And so you have this one entity that's like, I don't want you to tell people about me. So I think that's going to be kind of, in this whole world where a giant shared belief is what makes things real. I think that this one particular thing that happened to Cole when he was a kid is going to be the one real thing in this universe, or this common thread.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the story started with this issue.
Yeah.
They used last issue with the very well-known conspiracies that anybody who's getting into this could grab a piece of and be familiar with the flat Earth controversy, with the moon landing controversy, the Kennedy assassination, and just as an introduction to the concepts of what the Department of Truth is for. And now with this one, we're getting this this smaller, very lesser known event with the kids from the 80s and those trials, that whole kind of like just in the Midwest where the accusations and stuff were going on about it or whatever. They took a smaller one and attached it personally to our main character so that we can drive through the story with this. And I'm sure they're going to go on cases maybe or go look into other stuff, but this is clearly where the story is going to take place is with this character and Cole's problems with him. And
Yeah,
there's an amazing variant out there where Starface makes the cover eating a baby on the cover. Like,
I did see that. I was kind of bummed that I missed it, but I figured at least the LCS down here probably had it um held for somebody else.
I didn't see it in any stores. I don't know if it was an
Yeah.
exclusive or it was a high ratio or anything, but yeah, dude. And I thought it was cool how they referred to her. They kind of give you some insight into her that she's the devil.
Oh yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Um, kind of
And I
breakfast
wish,
at Tiffany's looking lady.
yeah, and I wish as much as at this point, like I'm actually enjoying the artwork now. By the time I got through this book, like it's definitely enjoyable for the tone and the style of this book and for the
Yeah.
content itself. But I'm really wanting like some kind of very realistic details of what her eyes really look like. I want to know what these slits really look like to
Oh
the
yeah,
characters in the story. You know what I mean?
for sure. I
Yeah.
thought it was really cool and funny too that they really leaned into the common belief thing when he's like, do you really think that that's Lee Harvey Oswald? And she's like, I don't know, but which one could it be? Could it be the
Yeah.
patsy? Could it be the one on the grassy knoll, or whichever one? So it makes you feel like or when Cole was like, it was definitely the one that was assassinated. It definitely wasn't him or whatever. So it gives like this kind of weird, eerie background that there's more than one Lee Harvey Oswald out in the universe, just because of the different beliefs that people have
Yeah.
about it.
I
I
thought it
thought
was
that
really
was really,
cool.
yeah, definitely. So that's it's going to be interesting to see if
It's
like
like I
maybe
told you.
just how they go with that. If it's like they have three different Oswalds that are like part of,
No, please no. We
yeah.
just got done with that.
Oh right, yeah. um,
As I was telling you, as much superhero stuff I do, I don't do nearly as many indies as
yeah,
a lot of people do. But dude, I enjoy this as a palate cleanser because
yeah,
it's superhero, Power Rangers, and throw that in there every now and then. It's just like a full reset, you know.
for sure. It's definitely definitely something different. I really really like the concept as well.
Tynan's a busy dude, man. He does like that book Wind, and he's doing this, and he's writing
Yeah,
Batman. And I don't see how these guys can pump out this kind of material, this intricate and this obviously laid out. And like this is very, very laid out. You know, like there's a
yeah.
lot that went into this.
I feel like this is a passion project for him.
Dude, it's a
Um,
really cool story, Justin. It's wild.
oh, dude,
I haven't
it's
ever
a
even
must
read a
read.
book with this concept. It's like if X Files mixed with Men in Black and then went to a conspiracy theorist convention and just rambled for
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, it's a must read for sure. But I feel like, I mean, I haven't read Wind or anything like that. I feel like that this is definitely his passion project. It's probably something that he's been working on for quite a while, given the concept and everything. And I mean, it's so good, and we're only on issue 2 already. I'm hoping that this goes on for a while, but it definitely feels like something that has a shelf life.
Do it.
Yeah, do it, man. It is you will not regret it, promise. Um, but this definitely feels like it has like a limited run to it. You know what I mean? As much as I hate to say that.
Well,
Um,
I
it
got some catching up to do, so I hope it's limited. I hope they do like a volume, like maybe 6 issues, and then take a break and come back with something else later.
yeah,
There's just too much stuff that I want to read, man. I want to have to find like some way to read stuff free digitally and just grab the stuff that I have to have for the PC and just because
yeah,
I don't need this for my PC. I just want the story. You know what I mean?
right,
I don't need this for my PC. I would love to continue reading it though.
yeah. What was that?
That's Mega Man issue number 3.
Oh,
Dude,
okay,
it's cool.
gotcha.
It's really cool.
Yeah,
Like not a huge fan of the art in it. It's really cartoony, but I mean it's I don't know what I'm supposed to expect from a Mega Man comic, so it's fine, you know.
right.
I'm more of a realistic kind of art style. Like I love the Three Jokers art style.
Yeah, Fabok's
Gary
awesome.
Frank is fantastic. I love the dude who's doing Detective Comics. Rockafort did the cover. Yeah, Rockafort. It's not like the greatest or anything, but it looks comic booky. I just kind of have like that natural comic booky eye to
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
Let's see, what else did you pick up? I'm trying to save the bigger hitters toward the end.
Yeah,
Mega Man, if you're not reading it, don't rush out to go grab it. But if you get a chance to read it, it's not bad. If you like, I
for
like
sure.
sci-fi stuff, and that's just kind of how it feels, just a random sci-fi.
Yeah,
I see Mega Man take his costume off, and you see him. Like I'd never seen him without his costume on before, and he's
same.
just like he's a kid, He's just
Huh.
this young buck. That's him right there in the blue, right by my finger here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And so you see him without his outfit on, and then there he is with his outfit on. So you kind of has like long and stretched out and narrow. So the artwork's kind of with a lot of stuff in Boom. It's kind of almost like a mixture of anime and classic American stuff. But
Gotcha.
then there's this kind of weird stuff. He gets an upgrade in here, and it kind of just blew my mind because there's him getting the upgrade. He's literally in pieces. He's like parceled out,
Huh.
levitating, getting an upgrade.
Interesting.
It is, and that's his brother on the cover. But they're
Okay.
doing this cool thing where like there's this whole war that had occurred before the story started, and Mega Man knows that he was in the war, but he doesn't have specific memories of it. It's like man versus machine kind of thing,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
it's kind of making it look like there's a shadow of doubt cast on him whether he was on the right side of events or not. Like if who he's fighting for are really the good guys or not. And typically with the truth, it falls somewhere in the middle. But so I'm
Right.
I'm honestly interested to see how it plays out. It's really slowly, it's real slow to build this story up. But I don't know. I'm just enjoying it.
For
No
sure.
good
Yeah.
reason. John Jiang has an awesome exclusive cover for #1 out there somewhere. That like the way he was just separated, getting his upgrade, his arm is separated out. It looks very reminiscent to Cyborg almost with his cannon
Okay.
hand. It's really
I
fire.
feel like I have seen that before. Now that you mention it. Um.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yes, yeah, we are both picking that up. We're both reading, and I'm really enjoying that. Al Ewan's
Yeah.
writing it, the same guy who does Immortal Hulk. That's what sent me that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really good book. Very much looking at it. I love the covers to it. I love just like the giant bold font. It reminds me of like old school movie posters for some reason.
Like old
Um.
sci-fi horror movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. But other than, I mean, I pretty much our pull list. It seems like we're pretty similar this week, except I picked up Heavy #2. Oh yeah, I didn't get that either. But it kind of can. That's the story with is sort of like the afterlife. These people in the big weight. They're called heavies. It's sort of like a purgatory place, but they're called heavies, and they go throughout like time and space, sort of like fixing timelines and stuff like that. And so this guy has been there for a while. He was murdered by his wife's ex-boyfriend, and come to find out that he has to be partnered up with the guy who murdered him. And this issue is really cool because it kind of shows them like going through the process. And so you have Bill, who's the main character, and Slim is his partner.
Quick reminder to keep it family safe.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to mention too much in it.
Yeah,
Because
I
this
just
was
remember what you told me. Yeah.
yeah, no, this, I mean, if Max Bemis has a twisted mind, that's all I'm going to say. And if you want to yeah,
It's hard to even describe this book without going over the line.
yeah, this one specifically because
You
it
get you
gets
get you could say he goes to a planet where STDs never happen, so people free love to a point of monsters being made is a good description, isn't it?
yeah, so that except the monster that was made was sort of like the only
Made of the love.
yeah, we'll go with that.
It's crazy when you say it out loud.
Yeah. can't. That's really all I can describe it as. It was, um, yeah, yeah, definitely get heavy too. But just if you do, be ready to just be like, holy crap. Um, what's up, Bert? Because it really goes off the rails. But on the flip side of that, it does have some really good character development in it. As far as so Slim is the guy that killed Bill and his wife.
You say Kill Bill?
He killed Bill, yes. Um,
Now, isn't
and
this? I've also heard from another video I was watching that this book is definitely the book to pick up if you're into full frontal nudity.
it has a bit, yeah, yeah. It's got a it's got a little bit of that. Um, but I mean, even the crazy thing to say is that's not even like the craziest part of the book. Like you know, you got all that kind of stuff going on, but that's just like, I mean, it's as normal as somebody going to the bathroom. Any parking tickets? No, that's Tom Selleck, eat your heart out, right? So the
Thank you, Keith. It was not easy to acquire.
yeah, but the character development for that was like kind of like Slim, who's the bad guy. That's just kind of like, you know, it was like I know that I'm a bad person, and it's like you have an addiction that you just can't stop, and it, you know, it pushed the only woman or the only person that like made me feel normal away, and to know that like it like she got pushed away for because of something that I can't even help. It like it killed him, and that's pretty much like what drove him to kill both of them. So yeah, character development was really good. You kind of see how Bill like gets frustrated with Slim because he starts doing all this crazy, like, violent stuff to all these bad people throughout time and space. And Bill's like, no, dude, you can't do that. But then the higher ups are like, we love you. You're awesome. Keep doing that. So, yeah, that was a really good read. If you're a fan of Max Bemis or Say Anything, anything like that, you know, if you know of Max Bemis at all, you know kind of what to expect.
I thought about grabbing it this past Friday when I went to go pick my books up. There was one copy sitting on the shelf, and I'm like, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I don't need to blow the money right now. But I've definitely learned to take indie recommendations from you because we last night on Two Brothers we did a top 5 books we read this past year, not necessarily that came out. And my number 1 book on that list was Murder Falcon.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
did top 5 books, that was just insane.
That's easily one of my favorite comic stories, like, ever. It's so personal. It's
I
I
love
get
his art,
goosebumps.
man. His
Yeah.
art is amazing. And again, he mentioned it last night, but he did Wonder Woman Dead Earth for Black Label recently.
Yeah.
And that was amazing too. You know, it was like Mad Max meets Wonder Woman meets Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. It was wicked. But
Yeah.
it really delivered. Like he just knows how to deliver emotional moments on this wicked scale, but very, very personal, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a great story.
Did you grab you one of these?
I did not.
I've been kind of picking up Spawn consistently here lately. So when Paul put out the little feeler asking if anyone wanted this to let him know so he can order enough for everybody, I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick with it. But I've got I've got all that OG Spawn, and then with the newer
Yeah.
stuff, it's kind of here and there. Like I got that Death Dealer cover swipe because Frazetta is awesome, and seeing a Spawn style Frazetta Death Dealer was amazing. And you and Kyle cohorted and got me the Gunslinger cover. Let's see what else
Yeah.
came.
Yeah. After that samurai cover, I haven't really been picking it up.
Yeah, I want to talk on this real quick, Brent, and not on the actual book, but on what's really going on with DC right now. But this is Detective Comics, issue 1029. It's the first appearance of this guy, the Mirror. And who is he, you wonder? Doesn't matter is the answer. Because what's going on with DC right now is we're at a weird time point. We have Metal at halfway through. We have Future, what's it called? Future State happening in January, where we're going to have like January and February. A lot of main titles are going to take a hiatus, and they're going to give us this almost like a 2099 kind of scenario where you're just going to see a future version of DC characters, and it's going to run for 2 months, and then it's going to get back on track. And so titles like Flash that just wrapped up that big Williamson run, it's going to flop. It's going to continuously flop. They're going to be filler stories, just one off. So that's what this is right now. Because what DC is needing to happen is they need everything to catch up. So after Future State, after Death Metal, they can move forward with a little bit of cleaned up continuity. So don't expect too much, but just kind of classic stories that really don't have any weight to them. They'll just be fun superhero adventures, which that is why I still pick this up. I started picking this up because of Hell Arisen and everything, and how it tied into just kind of following the Batman Who Laughs. But I continue to pick it up for the same reason I picked up Justice League every 2 weeks, because it's just outside of any kind of continuity, just fun superhero stories. It's just if you're not trying to have to keep up with tie-ins, this or that, and you just want some good Brainiac stuff or just villains you don't see very often. And so that's what you could probably expect from a lot of your main titles here going forward for a few months, is just them just trying to keep them on the shelves until they can get back to some meat and potatoes. But they need everything to kind of balance out.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to Future State very much myself, because I still kind of feel like they're like, we're not going to do 5G, but we're just going to really do it and call it something else and maybe modify it a little bit and
just do it for 2 months instead.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too worried about it myself.
Yeah, I'll probably read it, but not pick it up off the shelves, because I'm trying to make a commitment to not pick up everything that I normally would. And I'm on the fence right now because I was looking at the DC Connect order form, and Endless Winter starts next month and ends next month. It's just 9 parts. It's not. There's like I think there's just one book. I think there's only one book that's called Endless Winter. It's Endless Winter Part 1 is an Endless Winter title, but then an issue of Justice League will be Part 2. Then an issue of Batman will be Part 3. And I already pick up Batman. I already pick up Superman. I already pick up Justice League. But I was looking at it, and I think, they're just taking an actual title that already hits the shelf, and it'll be that part and that. So if you want Endless Winter and you don't pick up any DC, you'll end up with 9 books that are just regular comics. They're not event books. There'll only be one event book. But so I'm kind of on the fence on that, because I'm going to end up with parts of the story no matter what. But when I was looking at that order form and what I would be ordering for just November, December, I'm just like, dude, this is a ton of books.
Yeah.
Just Endless Winter out of the equation, just what I'm already picking up.
I feel like that's just going to kind of be, like you said, filler in between like Metal and Future State or 5G, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think they were originally going to let Endless Winter be a thing, but why would you spend too much money and throw too much at it when a competitor has something about to be happening at the same time that's going to overshadow it no matter what you do? And I don't think they're feel any kind of ill will toward that. Like that's just the timing of something that's been building over at Marvel, with the King in Black and everything.
Yeah.
They didn't have any major events kick off and any kind of success while Death Metal's been running. They have their regular titles running. They had Empire come out, but that was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel has not really been firing on all cylinders when it comes to events as of the last couple of years, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I think they're killing it with with whatever Donny Cates is touching, whatever Hickman's touching, but the overall universe isn't just kind of. And I can't really say too much because DC, like with the way they do their continuity intentionally loose, there's not really an overall universe kind of going with it. You just kind of got to know where to read to follow the thread. but I don't mind
Yeah.
doing it. I mean, if you put forth the time and effort, you'll know where to read.
Oh, for sure. I just mean too, like DC, like their events. Well, I guess at least with death metal, that's been
So
just
fun.
good all around. Like big cosmic stuff, and yeah, it's just been great.
And I can understand where if you, and we have already mentioned this, if you're not invested in DC, death metal is difficult.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. There's a lot of content, a lot of backstory. They throw the kitchen sink at it, but that's why I like it. It's not. I've been around these characters long enough. I know who they are. It's not trying to solve
Yeah.
any kind of mystery like that, and followed the stories here recently long enough that it's not difficult at all. But I do understand how it could be very, very difficult. They started out with Sergeant Rock. You know what I mean? Like he's not the most known character
Right.
by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. Well, it's also like it's a convenient event, and kind of what I mean by that is that it's not necessarily tied to like a main continuity. It's a very easy jumping on thing. Like you could probably just read all the chapters of death metal, and if you're just coming into it, and just read all that stuff and have that be that.
And have no clue what you're reading at the
Yeah.
same
Well, I
time.
mean, yeah, kind of.
There's so many large concepts embedded in it, even just as a standalone, like you said, with that cosmic scale and everything.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just reading Rise of the New Gods and trying to make sense of it with no DC knowledge?
Oh no,
With
yeah,
it,
jumping on in the middle of it like that. No, that'd be terrible. I'm
that'd
talking
be
about going
terrible.
from
That's what I
day
was just
one.
thinking. But this issue specifically, just thinking of how cosmic it went with all the
Yeah.
concepts of the gods to the source to beyond the source and everything. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, it
think
was
it's just
awesome.
because we've spent a lifetime in comics. We've being
Yeah,
raised
a
in it.
literal
To get
lifetime.
yeah, yeah, literal 33 years in them. So to
Yeah.
get something new and fresh, they have to literally invent something new and fresh. And it's kind of one of those things with comics. Like Pandora doesn't go back in the box once you introduce something that hasn't been done before. All you can do is strive to go bigger next time. Like people
Yeah.
don't. And I think that's what kind of one of my grievance with Three Jokers was I wasn't expecting such a subtle, well written story. I was expecting something expanding, but we'll get into that here in a little bit.
Yeah,
But this is a good segue into the cosmic stuff.
for sure.
Fantastic Four Antithesis. Don't pick it up. I'm done with that one. Next. No, real quick. It's just a Neil Adams is part of it. It isn't bad at all. Classic Fantastic Four style. There's a threat called Antithesis. He's basically the negative zone Galactus, and it's just a little 4-issue story about their little rump against him. And it's not bad or anything. It's just not a must read by any means. But amazing.
Yeah,
This was amazing.
it was probably one of, next to Robin King, I think that was my favorite installment in death metal so far.
And what made this so good for me is what we were just touching on is it's taking the DC multiverse and what we know, and it's doing something that I look forward to having happen in any event, and they're actually expanding it and not necessarily making the universe bigger, but getting in more detail and more depths on the concept of what is already there, and just giving it more life and giving it bigger legs to stand on. So the Batman Who Laughs has completely evolved himself to the Blackest Night. He's literally a cosmic level threat now, and this is the start of him telling Perpetua that he's not her right hand man, he's not her lackey, he's not her do boy. So he goes to confront her, and the battle with them two starts. It doesn't.
Yeah,
You don't see any kind of drawn out anything or any conclusion with that. It's just first punch thrown in that kind of battle. He takes his claws, and he's tough talking to her, and she's just not even caring. But then he just takes his hand and sticks it right through her, and she just screams. And then the next thing you know, they're grabbing planets and hitting each other with planets. And that's pretty much all you get from them. But what's
yeah,
cool is the character, the chronicler. Now the chronicler exists beyond the source. He chronicles all the events of the multiverse, and he's done it for, did he say trillions of years or something insane?
Yeah.
Like this is beyond the level of anything that anyone's done before. And yeah, there's them hitting each other in the face with planets, and there's the Chronicler, which it looks a lot like the art that's going on in Superman right now in the style of aliens and that. But anyways, he's come here to chronicle these events because this universe is doomed to fall. And what he finds in this universe is something he's never found before. You know, he's seen these minuscule worlds come and go, but he's found a universe teeming with life and possibility that he's never seen on this scale, and it shakes.
It's really cool that like it's got a sense of urgency where he's kind of like this is it, like we're at the end right now, so I've got to hurry up. And he's kind of going to these different characters, like taking their like knowledge of history and stuff like that, like going to Psycho Pirate and
Brainiac's son.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name, but going there because they have like, you know, like vast knowledge of this multiverse and everything like that. And Brainiac's kid thinking that he had one up on him for a second there. He's like, But yeah, sense of urgency, but also just set against the backdrop of the battle between Perpetua and the Darkest Night. It's like he keeps coming back to that battle. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go here and do this, and then next thing you know, he's back on, you know, whatever moon or planet, and then probably about 3/4 of the way through, they drop a big bomb. Hey, buddy. Hey, Finn.
What's up, Alan? This is the guy that I met at the book exchange this past Wednesday.
Okay, yeah.
No, we don't have the headphones in right now, buddy.
But yeah, they dropped the big bomb in the middle of it when he picks up the skull, and I thought for a second that hey Finn, that we're talking about comics.
We're talking about this book right here. Who's that?
No.
Who is that?
No. But I thought that they were, you see him holding the skull and the blue flash, and I was like, oh snap, he's about to get Manhattan over here. But no, it was Metron. And he's just kind of like, you know, what happened? How long have I been dead? And just kind of, I feel like, I don't want to say talks the Chronicler down, but he's like, you know, telling him about the different events and all this other kind of stuff. And he's like, you know, these are stories that I've never seen before and stuff like that with characters that I've never like come across. And so he's like super interested in this universe. So yeah.
He's slow stomping away.
Yeah, I can hear him.
I love that kid.
That's funny.
Oh, your dirty feet stomp. He's dirty feet stomping.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool, like you said, when he just needs more understanding, and where he's standing in that very moment when he comes upon this idea that he needs more knowledge, he just reaches down in the dust of what is the moon and just pulls Metron's skull up. So that's right where Metron died at the end of Darkseid War.
Yeah.
And it's just cool how the level of knowledge that Metron was giving him, like when they were talking, he's like, when he's trying to get some understanding, Metron's like, gods exist because people believe in gods. The source exists because gods believe in the source, and that's why you exist. He even made somebody on that vast of a cosmic scale somehow significance in that moment. Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, I don't mean nothing.
Had a little bit of Department of Truth in there.
Yes. Now, and I thought it was really cool and convenient that this came out the same week as the Three Jokers, and I wish I would have read this before Three Jokers. And I even tried to subtly hint to you to read Three Jokers last because of this moment in this book. When Chronicler goes to the prison to go find Psycho Pirate, the first person that has anything to say or do to him is the Joker, asking him, hey, why the long face, thinking he's funny. And Chronicler walks up to him and says, are you the one whose presence drew me here? no, you're cosmically insignificant, a strange nuisance on your world, and it's a wonder they allow you to live. Because going into Three Jokers, my whole thing that I wanted to see happen was Joker kind of be like an opposite end of the spectrum to Superman, where in Doomsday Clock we find out that Superman is kind of an anomaly almost, where everything kind of revolves around him, where he's special inside of this multiverse. I wanted Joker to be the same way, and maybe that these three Jokers, where every time there was a major crisis reset, the Joker from that reset made it through it somehow. So it just kept accidentally making copies of the Joker,
Yeah.
pre-crisis, post-crisis, post Flashpoint or something. But this took that concept and not only threw it out the window, it absolutely crapped on it, dude.
Yeah.
You're just insignificant.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. The Joker's face after that was like, I laughed. I was like, that's pretty funny.
And I'm sure you enjoyed it, Alan, and we intentionally saved that book for the end of the chat. So I'm excited to hear what you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, that, and it also had at the end, it had a couple of pages that follows up the end of that Multiverse is in. You see what's going on with the Green Lanterns. I thought it was cool, yet very confusing what was happening at the very end of that when they get back to Earth and see that it is in worse shape than they left it. And they're like, we got to do something. So they just take their rings off and give it to their refugees. Like, you expect them to be able to sling better than you?
Right.
Unless those weren't, they didn't take their ring off, because from Jeff Johns' like epic turn on Green Lantern that like Sinestro like recreated a ring and gave it to Hal. They can use the rings to make other rings. So maybe they're going that route. I wasn't too sure just from the one or two panels there at the end that showed that.
Yeah, hopefully, I'm sure they'll end up addressing that a little bit more in the next installment or two.
So I feel like we're about to be on par with what Infinite Crisis was back in 2006, because that had every single character actively doing something that mattered, like where you needed to know what they were up to. And it was just huge battles, huge scale. And I think we're building up to that now.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're still, because we still got, they just they're only up to like Death Metal number 4, like in the proper. So I think it goes up to 7.
Yeah,
and who knows how many like in between.
Out, right?
I think number 4 was the last one.
Okay, I'm trying to picture the covers to them. I remember the first one, then the second one was the monster truck, and the last one was him holding the button, but I don't remember which one it was.
That was number 4.
Okay, I thought, which one is Jang doing the cover for?
5.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely be getting that.
Yeah, that looks pretty. The little teaser he dropped was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Robin King, man. After seeing the way he did the Groblins on that cover, and he did them, 2 of them were mocking Superman and Batman, and one of them kind of had, I don't know if you looked that cover up, but the one that had his hat on, but then like a teasingly way where it was not all the way on.
Right.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Detective Spawn. This is a fun book, man. It really is. That Batman Superman run.
Gotcha.
All right. I'm going to run through this one real quick. Immortal Hulk. Fire. Like absolute fire. If The Last Ronin didn't come out this week, this would have easily been my top pick of the week, and not because I'm biased, because this was amazing, and yes, I am biased. But when Immortal Hulk started, they got back to the roots of what made the character, and then they twisted it with this crazy John Carpenter, the Thing kind of style to it, and they started kind of really diving into his personalities and why they were there and what makes these gamma-powered characters really what they are. But they fell flat after 25. They built up and it held good until 25, and then after that they jumped on a new story arc, and it wasn't that anymore. And I feel like they did that intentionally just so that they can build some momentum back up into this storyline, because we now have revealed that it's been the leader for so long. We get like a timestamp on why his dad's been present in the place below, and it's really the leader just in that in that disguise so he can manipulate and make these moves and stuff. And we had this insane battle between the leader inside of the Scar personality and the Devil Hulk personality. And there's like if you read it and saw what they did with however you say it, Zenmu, like how that character, that old Titan, that old Hulk from back in the Silver Age, they turned him into a horrific character with all kind of body dismemberment. They gave the leader his own thing too in this, and it is absolutely twisted. And reading up to this, you thought that this was going to be the Devil Hulk just wreaking havoc, and that's how it started. But full spoiler, because this is at Weeks End, the Devil Hulk personality gets slaughtered by the leader, like absolutely
Oh
slaughtered. He did
no.
have some unintentional help from the Savage Hulk that was just broken and not wanting to see anyone fighting anymore, and he grabs the Devil Hulk, stopping him from just murking Stearns, you know. And while he's holding him, saying stop, Stearns gets up and just rips him like from heart all the way out, dude. And then he ends up with Banner, so it's feeling like very metally too, and like not death metal, but back in metal. Remember how like every time a hero would rally up and get ready to do something, you're like, here we go, right
Got
back
tore
to the
down.
worst place they started. And that's exactly how this has been going. And I love it for that, you know, just get the stakes up there, raise them, raise them, raise them, you know, because
For
we've
sure.
read the normal run of the mill stuff so much, you know, like bad guy starts to win, good guy triumphs. Well, bad guy starts to win, then he does win. Then the good guy tries
Yeah.
to come back and it doesn't work. And then he tries it again and then he gets murdered. And now something else has to happen. But dude, Al Ewing is crushing this, dude.
Nice.
And I've sent you some trades. You need to get back on them, man.
I think I've oh yeah. I've read I think up to issue 25
Yeah.
whenever
Breaker of Worlds.
Metron
Metron. Talking
the
about
that
the Infinity Man or whatever.
maybe like the angel looking dude.
Yeah, I forget what his name was. It was a celestial or something, and he just devours him.
Hmm. Could have
Metron's
swore he
deep.
said
Infinity Man's
yeah,
deep.
no, I thought I remembered like seeing the name as like I thought that was Mobius. But yeah.
I forget the name too. It's been so long, but it was a cosmic alpha level character, and he
Yeah,
just
he looked like an angel.
yeah. You look like an angel.
I don't like to brag.
Yeah. All right, I'm down to 2 books. Do you have any books other than the 2 big releases this week?
Oh, I don't think I had anything else. Like I said, I think we were pretty parallel,
Yeah.
minus heavy. So we can get into those. Three Jokers. Yeah, yeah. I
Wasn't
mean,
what we expected.
definitely
Let me,
not.
let me preface it real quick. I read it and I hated it. Not because it was bad. It was well written. It was an amazing self-contained story. This book by itself, with no history involved in it, is a beautifully written, beautifully drawn, well executed, amazing Batman story. Unfortunately, it does have a 4-year history in DC Comics that built up to it. Unfortunately, it did suffer COVID setbacks. Unfortunately, it did suffer Jeff Johns moving around, promotion, going into movies, coming out, the whole DC shakeup. It suffered a lot of hits from behind the scenes. So, what Three Jokers was originally going to be and what we have are most likely completely different things.
Yeah. I really, I do agree with pretty much everything you just said.
Me neither, Alan.
Yeah, no. I definitely think that at some point somebody was like, look, or Jeff Johns himself was like, look, I'm not gonna like tie this to that bombshell that I dropped 4 or 5 years ago at
The
all.
amazing bombshell.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to make a story that is like, um, I don't even know like how to explain it. Like that builds off the concept rather than the story itself. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like so. I feel like that this was just kind of
You punched her?
No.
Uh-oh.
What do? You wake her up?
Mm-hmm.
Come here, Finn. Come sit with me.
My blanket by it made it been deep.
Well, your sister's sleeping. We don't want to wake her up, do we?
So yeah, it
Hold on.
I think that he was just like, okay, I'm gonna do something with three jokers, but not necessarily what I kind of started back in Dark Side War. The first two issues I really enjoyed. I thought it was really awesome. I think by the end of the third issue, it sort of became more of a Batman and Red Hood story than a Three Jokers story. Only because it seemed like they were trying to give, like, I didn't really like the 180 he did with Jason from issue 2 to 3. Like, it really felt like Jason
hit
was
the brakes
going
hard, didn't they?
Yeah, he was on like a path to redemption, and then like issue 3, he was just like, no, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah, like the first page, like as soon as I see them, they're dead.
Yeah, didn't really like that. I was really kind of, but at the same time, like we knew this is only gonna be 3 issues. Like how much could they have done with him? Yeah. Like how much could they have really done with Jason in that last issue as far as like getting better goes? You know what I mean?
Well, that's something that was one of my grievances with it that I've mentioned here and there on YouTube, that we are in the exact same place after issue 3 that we were at the beginning of issue 3. Like, we don't know if they're ever going to make any of this count, just like we didn't know what they're going to do with the whole concept of the Three Jokers. Like you said, Jason started on a path of healing, but with the way that it ended, with the way issue 3 started, with the way that the note he left Barbara ended, like, he's going to continue to be the Red Hood. He's going to continue to be the outlaw, which I'm perfectly fine with, but there's only character development inside of issue 2. And beyond that, it's just regular old Red Hood, but it was the best written Red Hood we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Like, this was really unrestricted Red Hood, which was really cool.
I do kind of feel like that it does leave you with that, like, that sense of what if, and like feeling bad for Jason, because it's like, you know, he kind of poured his heart out to Barbara there, and to him, he thinks that he's been rejected, so he's continuing down this path and everything. But it's also like
that to me, the whole thing with him and Barbara seemed really forced. It seemed like they were trying to pack more story into this 3 issues than needed to be there, just because they wanted to give it a little bit more weight and a little bit more emotional events going on in it, instead of just a straight up superheroes after the supervillain. But I don't feel like it played well. You know, it felt cramped.
I feel like, well, I mean, I don't 100% agree with that. I do see where you're coming from, but I feel like it was more for us to feel bad for Jason at the end of issue 3 when the note dropped and that janitor swept it away, which I did want to, I don't think we talked about it, but the janitor did have a Funhouse Cleaners jacket on. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And the only person I felt sorry for, though, man, is anybody who paid $6.99 for these.
Well, you know, as far as the story goes, like, I think that was meant for us to feel more for Jason, coming out of it, with, like you said, the note getting swept away and him feeling like just completely rejected and everything like that. Which
for me, I didn't get that feeling toward him, because it didn't flow to me. Like the kiss made sense just in that moment. He just gives an awkward kiss. You've seen that done 1,000 times in movies and books over the years in different ways. So that didn't seem weird. What seemed weird was him continuing to bring it up or try to err on about it. And at the most random moments in the story like that. I just don't feel
Like
like
the
that
random
with what
moments,
was
yeah, I
going
agree with
on.
that.
Yeah, I
Like
don't feel like with what was going on, he would even be thinking about that, you know?
yeah, but him egging it on, I feel like that does sort of make sense because it showed him in issue 2 in the in Barbara's closet, like looking at the books and like how she talked about getting better. So I think Jason was sort of attaching getting better to
Oh,
oh yeah,
but dude, they look good though, Alan. They look
yeah,
good. And we
but I
both paid for the full set of the 15 what are they, premium variants?
yeah, that was
There's
only
my
what
dude.
$60.
Yeah, it was a good deal.
Yeah,
What's up,
but
man?
what's up, dude?
There
But
you go, Cadrano. I got them stands on full display.
I think that was like Jason was sort of attaching that kiss to the path to getting better as well.
You should have read the book first.
Yeah, but yeah, so I think that was his reasoning for like kind of keeping like to keep on going after Barbara like that, which in and of itself would have never worked out if that was the reason he was going after it or that's how he felt. But because that's just not a good way to start a relationship.
All right, let's
Uh,
get into the if you're good on that, I do want to get into and get your thoughts on the blaring contradictions in the actual content.
the
I'm about to show you. I'm prepared
I think we
to
talked
give
about
you.
this.
Yeah, but I want to show you and actually try to get because you read things your way, I read things my way, and we pull different stuff out of it. So that's where I enjoy
Yeah,
doing this so much to see what you catch that I don't catch, and vice versa. Yes, they do look awesome. And for anybody who's wondering, Kedrano Prints right there is on Instagram, and he 3D prints and makes these amazing stands. They hold raw, they hold slabs, and top loaders. They're weighted down in the bottom. They fit perfectly. They're amazing. Super good guy. Super amazing prices. Check him out on Instagram. The contradictions, Brent. In the beginning, when they're going through all the evidence, they break it down. They say we have these three jokers. We have the criminal, the clown, and the comedian. So the clown, Jason Todd shot in the head in issue 1, which was like the coolest moment. Like I love that.
yeah,
Now I'm not even sure if that was the same Joker that actually killed him. You know, I'm thinking the killing Joker is the one that killed him. But without getting into all that, he's Batman sitting here with their pictures, and he says that the criminal Joker is the one that is from their earliest confrontations. And there's a
yeah,
picture of their earliest confrontations. And so they bookmark that. The criminal Joker, timeline wise, is the first Joker. Next, they have the clown. He embraced the lethal campiness like the children's show host. So the clown, the one that Jason Todd killed, was the one that came after that original Joker, where it was campy and silly and goofy and all that crap.
yeah,
And then the final Joker, the comedian, the Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil reinventation of the Joker. Hey, there he is. What's up, Bart? That's my buddy all the way in Belgium. Yeah, I was just showing off some stuff early. I got your copy right here, Bart. It'll be packed up and coming your way with the rest of your stuff. So we have the criminal Joker timeline one is the first. The clown is the second, and the comedian is the third. And they even do this, and I was mad about this because Brent has been trying to pinpoint the New 52 Joker for a while because he was big on the Batman New 52 run, has them all. Like
yeah,
he put me on certain storylines from it and everything because I didn't read all those straight through. But they just throw this one image in just to say that the comedian is the New 52 one for the stupid continuity issue. We have a continuity issue here where we don't have the New 52 Joker present in here. So they throw that one panel in there just to include it. So we have the timeline. So if this is the original Joker, he's responsible for making the rest. But the rest of the book, they play it out completely different, where it's like the comedian is the original one. Next big contradiction. Killing Joke, going back to that, his family gets taken away by the police and put in WITSEC before he was ever the Joker. Batman says he's known who the Joker was since the first week he met him. The first week he met the Joker, his family's been gone. This whole thing with hiding his family had nothing to do with Batman, had nothing to do with Bruce Wayne. This was just a good deed the police did for a woman that needed a way out. So what business does Batman have going up there, driving by, checking on him? The Joker War. We just saw Batman come to the huge realization that he has to trust the Bat family. Your shirt glows? Go back there and watch it glow. I'm not turning the light off. This is really important. His shirt glows.
Look at it. It's glowing.
It's glowing.
Yeah, see my eyes are open?
Yeah, your eyes are open. All right, go lay down, buddy. It's late. But yeah, he would have had nothing to do with his family going and hiding anything at all. And the fact that we just got to the point in the main Batman run where he has to trust the Bat family again. He can't do it on his own. And this whole thing, like, oh, I can't tell anyone. I can't tell you, Alfred. I can't tell them, or he'll find them and they'll die. Why does he assume that Barbara, Jason, well, Jason might be a wild card. Barbara, Alfred, or anyone else in his network is not safe to tell the secret to?
Yeah, that's
like, I know Batman burdens things himself, but that's completely different than him actively saying, I can't tell them. Like, Alfred would die before he says a word to ever hurt anyone, especially someone like connected to Bruce. It was just, those things just, man, they tick me off.
Yeah, I also kind of feel like that the whole family thing is probably something that the Joker would have found out either at some point just randomly, or if he really looked into it, he could find them if he wanted to. Like, Joker's a pretty resourceful guy when he wants to be.
He's been proven to be not an idiot.
Yeah, or any one of Batman's rogues would have been like, hey, dude, like, when was the last time you saw your wife and your kid?
Yeah.
You've been gone a while. So yeah, I didn't think that was very yeah, that was definitely a scratching head moment. And then also, like you said, Batman kind of knowing who the Joker is from day one, like that
takes away from some of the mystery coolness of the Joker. Like, that the world's greatest detective still doesn't know this is something that makes the Joker cool. And then just to throw that in there in a manner that doesn't necessarily make perfect sense, it was not the way to do it.
And that in and of itself kind of was a nail in the coffin. That was like, this isn't tied into Batman being on like the Mobius chair, like in the slightest, like at all. So yeah,
or to Rebirth, or DC Rebirth, when he's sitting there trying to figure out why there could possibly be 3 Jokers.
Yeah, I know there was.
We mentioned that early on, that he was playing it too cool through this whole thing. Like, even after issue 1, we were talking about, like, isn't Batman kind of playing this a little too cool? Like, he's not trying to solve nothing.
Yeah. It and I had to remember, one of the big things before it even came out was like you and I trying to like rack our brains and try to figure out where in the timeline this falls, and it's the answer to that is nowhere. Which is disappointing in and of itself, because you know how I am with continuity, and that just kind of shot itself in the foot. And
normally, between all the trade paperbacks I have, the DC Universe subscription we have, we can easily find the like we said, the loose continuity, but you can easily go pick out, all right, you need the Dark Side War, you need Flash Forward, you need Hell Arisen, you need Metal, and you're ready for Death Metal. It's not.
Yeah.
And with this, like, we were set, man. We were there. We were ready. We had all the pre-gaming that needed to be done for this, and it wasn't even hard. It wasn't difficult at all to go get all the stuff that most of it was already read that led up to this event that was so highly anticipated. I've been dressing as Joker for the last 3 years straight for Halloween. 2 reasons. 1, every year I do it, that means I paid less for that expensive costume. And 2, I love the Joker.
Yeah.
So I was really upset with this, man. But all that being said, as a standalone issue, now it's hard to say this now. It was well written. That last issue, man, they fumbled a few major major continuity things inside itself, not in the bigger DC universe, but inside.
And I wonder if like they did that on purpose just to kind of like, you know, how the Joker's history is convoluted to begin with. If that was even really.
The animated movie was not bad at all. I liked it a lot, but there's so much more to the backstory of the Joker in the actual book. I highly recommend getting that book. And also, Batman and Barbara never get it on.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like I wonder if he did that on purpose, just because the convoluted history of the Joker. But even for Jeff Johns, it was pretty sloppy if that was his intention.
But you see what I'm saying with the evidence papers, how they put them in perfect order for you.
Yeah.
And then, which in that sense, you nailed it calling the, at one point, because our theories were changing with each issue. Like after we get new information, well, there could be this, there could be that. And at one point, we're looking at it, and Brent made a theory that the criminal Joker could very well be the first Joker, making comments about how he ran this city before there was ever even a Batman. So like him already being an established bad guy and everything. So it lend credence to that, but then, you know, they don't do anything with it. You know, the first person Batman ever killed was in his first book ever, and he kicked Alfred Stryker over a railing into a vat of acid. They could have easily Jeff Johns is notoriously, amazingly famous for having this vast knowledge of DC history.
Yeah.
And he didn't touch on it, man. He went back to Killing Joke, and that was it. He could have easily referenced that this Joker was Alfred Stryker. That alone would have made this book amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh.
Do that. We got one more, and it's the good one.
Yeah. So yeah. First two issues of Three Jokers was awesome, but this one definitely fell flat. But of course, Last Ronin, that one that was an awesome read. I will admit that I felt like it went. There were points where I felt like it was it went on a little too long. But other than that, no. I mean, I was overall happy for it.
I don't feel like it was long enough. I could have. I've read it twice now, and dude, the only thing that I could say that I just wasn't absolutely pleased with was I'm not impressed with Shredder's grandson.
Yeah.
And not because the concept of it being Shredder's grandson. Dude, you don't owe me nothing, man. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're able to talk about it with us, dude. That's what the comic community is all about, looking out for each other and enjoying these things together, man.
Oh, yeah.
Let's dive into it. I was stoked to like kind of speculate on who the villain could be, and I heard Panda mention, like, what if it's Casey Jones, like a jaded Casey Jones for events that who knows why. Like, that would hit below the belt. You know,
that for sure. Yeah, that would have been awesome.
But Panda having a better idea than Eastman, Waltz, and the guys, I guess that kind of bummed that out for me a little bit, but we'll see where it goes with it. And I would have been a little more okay with it if he wasn't kind of just like that whiny little spoiled kid in the ivory tower, you know. And I'm a little confused because he did say that he killed the other turtles, but also when they were trying to get their hands on the Ronin, he said that he's not going to raise his hands himself because basically that's not what someone in his position would do. He's just going to have other people do his bidding for him.
Yeah, well, that kind of like lends to his character though as well. Like, yeah, I killed them, but when he really like had them killed, like even though he didn't do it, he's going to take credit for it.
And that's a good point. Did you notice all the 80s Easter eggs right off the bat? The first one I saw was Akira's motorcycle just painted blue.
Yeah.
The cop reference, the Escape from New York references. So I love the fact that this book's original story was written in the 80s. The concepts for it were in the 80s. So they wrote it like it was still in the 80s. And how hard were you trying? Yes, yeah, he is a tool like his grandfather, but his grandfather, Hirosaki, fought and campaigned with a set of honor. Like whether you like it or not, whether you agree with his ideals or not, he had his own code.
Dude
know
was
what
a
I'm saying?
warrior straight up.
Yeah, this kid we've yet to see that, but we
Yeah.
might see that. We don't know. It's a weird future. And how hard were you trying to figure out which turtles were dialoguing when he was on the suicide
Oh, the
mission?
entire
Ghost
time.
Ball. Yeah, and I think they did a great job throwing us off. Like there's dialogue where I'm like, that was definitely Mikey that said that to him. There's dialogue where I'm like, that's definitely Donnie. That was definitely Raph. Like when he was in the water, it was all
Yeah.
toxic in the beginning, and they're talking about, oh, it won't kill you. It's only this much. This like that's definitely Donnie. And there's definitely throw offs though.
For sure. Yeah. There was like I could definitely throughout the book I ruled out Raph and Donnie as being the last Ronin. Like just from the dialogue, like the off-panel dialogue, I was like, okay, because Donnie's talking about Tex and the alarms and the sewers and stuff like that, and just some of like the gruffness and the dialogue for what you would think would be Raph. But I was still, like I mentioned last week, I was still torn between Leo and Mikey being the actual last Ronin. Like I couldn't until like a few pages towards the end, whenever he pulled out Leo's sword and it was broken. I was like, okay, that's it. Like I knew, like at that point, I was like, it's got to be this one.
Yeah, you think it's him, and then like after that moment, and then you get the dream sequence though, and that turtle on the left, right on his left, that was sitting there, like it's screaming like I ate the last bagel and stuff. Like I was certain at that point that that's Mikey. That's his dead brother Mikey making those jokes and stuff. And I love how innocent they drew them all too.
Yeah,
But, they just did great. And I feel like having read it now, if you go back and you look at the Ronin's actual dialogue blocks, what color are they? So they were giving us the hint the whole time. Because at the end, you did not holler. Because you know me, for when they first announced this book, for no other reason than he's my favorite turtle, I was campaigning for him the whole time and trying to rationalize it. And we talked about it, and there's definitely the most story to be had with this character. There's the most growth to be had with this character. You mentioned before how they even talk about it in the IDW run. Splinter said he is the most skilled out of all of the brothers. That's why that weapon was given to him. But the big end, the very last word was the big reveal that it is, in fact, Michelangelo.
Yeah.
And people that don't know, the first time Eastman and Laird sat down and started penciling these characters and concepting them, they drew a turtle, drew him some ninja pads and whatnot, and gave him nunchucks. So Mikey was the very first turtle that ever came around.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely makes sense if you force it to. Yep, that's true.
That's one of my employees at work. I tell them that all the time.
Yeah. I definitely think they could have got some good story out of Leo as well. If not for almost kind of the same reasons with Mikey, like I had mentioned last week, like this could have been like the failed leader, like trying to, restore honor to his family and stuff like that.
This isn't a very honorable way to do it, though, is it?
Oh, no, not at all. But it's
some Ghost of Hero. What is that game called?
Oh, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, some Ghost of Tsushima honor going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play games, but Brent spoon feeds me the new game so that I'm on the half up and up with them.
Yeah, it was an awesome game. They just came out with some of the DLC with the more mystical stuff. So I've yet to jump on that though, unfortunately. I don't even think I've turned my PlayStation on in like the last month, dude. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Last Ronin. Yeah, I thought it was kind of crazy. I started
thinking The Last of Us.
Yeah. I thought that for a minute, like whenever he was in the tower and he saw, like it showed that lady in like the cryogenic chamber or whatever you want to call it. I thought that was going to be April. And that might have been another reason that Mikey was like trying to get in there, was to like get her out. But then when they mentioned
Karai.
Yeah, I almost called her Kia or Kaya. I don't know. Anyways,
that's
yeah.
Power Rangers. Kia!
Yeah. We're just getting too many crossing the streams over here.
You did it again.
Yeah.
What you need?
I can't find her beads.
But
The ones that were on my ankle?
I thought that was pretty interesting that he had her just kind of chilling in that chamber.
I got all the babies, man. She's so confused. She does the same thing with mirrors, though.
That's funny.
What is that?
Hey.
Oh, it's going to be a long wait on that hardcover, Bart, because these things are slated to come out like every 2 months. So you're looking at a year-long release if there's no delays.
Yeah.
So I might just have to figure out a way to acquire some. Yeah, that's me. Acquire some copies that's in your way. They're not exactly easy to get right now, but if I can, I most definitely will.
I feel like after issue 1, they'll be a little bit easier to acquire. Like I think people just like lost their mind with, just having this really cool Ninja Turtle story, and then B, with the IDW kind of fudging the print run. Everybody lost their mind over it. Like, there's 130,000 copies out there, and people are paying $30-$40 for it.
Well, they shorted 130,000. I went back and read that again. So you're looking at an even bigger print run. If they shorted 130,000, I can guarantee you there's at least 175,000 print run on it. And that's.
I
that's
read somewhere else like that. Yeah, I read what you said, but then also that there was like, I guess that it was kind of like a 50-50 thing, because I'd seen a couple other places where the print run was around 130,000. But they were, like you said.
That's not counting the store exclusives. There's 71 variants total. There's 71 covers of this book. So that print run, I don't think is taking that into account, though. I think that's just the initial print run. That's your
cover A's.
What is it? Your direct edition stuff.
Yeah. But I thought it was really cool, man. I'm really, now that they've introduced or revealed who the Ronin is, like, I want to know the backstory. Like, what happened to the rest of the turtles. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Look at her.
She waves now.
Yeah. Hey. Wax on, wax off. Yeah, just kind of interested to see like how this dude like took the turtles down, So patty cake over there.
I'm betting that we're gonna start getting like that whole concept of, are they gonna reveal in the first issue? Are they gonna kind of flashback and show you one brother fall at a time? I think we might get that now. I'm wondering if they all just kind of went out together. Like, was there some kind of argument that the brothers were having, and that's why Mikey wasn't with them during the tragedy?
Yeah, or maybe they sacrificed themselves to save Mikey or something like that. I don't know. I'm very excited for the series, though. Now that, like, I feel like now that they had this initial first part out of the way, they're going to be able to really hit the ground running even more so.
And me personally, I mentioned it to you, I'm glad that they went ahead and revealed it. That way that we can get the full emotional tie to the character. Because there's absolutely ways they could have written it without revealing it, and you can be invested. But it's going to be a completely different style book now that we know who it is. We get to feel sorry for him. We get to grieve with him. And we really get to understand how hurt he is, how much he's changed, what losing his brothers has done to him, because obviously it broke him. He's literally carrying them with him. Like, they're dead, but he's carrying them with him, talking to them.
Yeah. I thought, like, on one hand, I am glad they went ahead and revealed it, but I also would have liked that aspect of it, of finding out towards the end, and then just thinking about the story points like before that, like, as not necessarily as that character, but having that sort of reflection and everything like that, having that feeling of like, oh, Mikey went through this in the beginning, and then he went through that, and then like having the opportunity to reread the story, knowing that it's Mikey, to the end, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't even think about that idea. Like, there's always now that you know, rereading it and getting all that too.
Yeah,
I that would
like
definitely been a
reading
cool.
it
I'm
differently.
still
Like,
happy with this.
yeah, oh, for sure. But like, I would have liked to have gotten that other perspective on it as well. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
There's always the thing they could have waited to issue 2 or 3, but overall, I give it a 9 out of 10
Oh, for sure.
just because I'm not too confident with the villain yet. But again, there's nothing about this story that the villain matters really.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking back on it, like it's 100% just like that self-contained in Mikey. Just the fact of him losing his brothers. You could have it be the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man,
yeah,
and you would still get the depth and the emotion and everything. And I definitely liked those cyborgs he was fighting. That gave it that little more rough around the edge. Dark Knight Returns, like this is harder hitting because those were people in there, man.
yeah,
He was lobbing their heads off.
yeah. It was pretty intense. But it's it that definitely delivered. I remember after, like, once I picked up my pull list from this week, I read Three Jokers first, and I read that last. And it definitely what am I trying to say here? Just it made me forget about Three Jokers, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, I told you to read Three Jokers last because I was afraid that it would kind of ruin your reading mood.
Oh no, I generally don't let that kind of thing, like, I try to self-contain that type of stuff myself. Like, if I don't enjoy a book, I'm like, okay, I'll reflect on it for a minute and then move on to the next one. But Last Ronin definitely stuck with me.
Yeah, big
I really
time.
like the art in it too, for sure.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, the artwork that they previewed and everything, I didn't think it was bad or anything, but seeing
right.
this, dude, I don't have any problem with them postponing it to do what they did because there's nothing distracting about it. Like, there's a lot to look at. It
Oh
was
yeah,
me. I'm big on that panel to panel motion. Like when I'm reading it and I'm moving my eyes, I don't want them to have to stop and double take and try to translate what I'm looking at. And it was good. I like the way that Mikey was done. I like they aged him so well and put the spots on him and everything.
yeah,
It was done really well.
for sure. I'm interested to see, like how big of a part Stockman's going to play in this, because they had the Mausers and everything in it.
I think he's probably dead.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that they're going to kind of just again. I think they're going to be pulling a lot from the idea of the Dark Knight Returns in this, and you already saw that girl when Mikey stole the bike. They're like, "Hey, Jones," and she's following Mikey. And now that Mikey popped up and April's there, I think you're about to find out that was April and Casey's daughter,
Yeah.
and you're getting like the whole like Robin was in the Dark Knight Returns. And
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think they're going to try to leave as many IDW concepts away as possible, minus Karai, just because if we got the Shredder's grandson, so that's really pulling from Mirage and just kind of bringing IDW into it. And then I think they're going to try to leave as many original characters and elements out of it as possible to keep the focus on Mikey. I could be wrong, but that's just if I was doing it, I wouldn't try to distract from this new narrative whatsoever. And thinking back when they originally wrote it, how they're throwing it into the future, they would have at that point, when they originally wrote it, Shredder was dead. Like they killed Shredder right at the gate in the original run. So I would like them to do as much original concept and original material to this as possible.
Yeah.
That way, you're not trying to I don't know, not trying to put bookmarks in the actual ongoing run of events that matter or not, because it's supposed to stand alone by itself. So the more that they put into it, the more it distracts me. Because I start just speculating on different events in the run that could have been influential to the actual Ronin story.
For sure. Well, they got 4 more issues to fill, so it'll be kind of see how much they actually adhere to that type of stuff.
Well, I hope they spend a good chunk of it actually giving us that backstory. There's 30 years of missing content.
Oh yeah.
where
Definitely.
they have, they're not restricted by anything, so hopefully they don't restrict themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now that's like, since you mentioned that, I wonder if they're going to do something like, instead of maybe the other three turtles going out all at once, like it was something that they were picked off over the years.
Yes. I wonder if one issue is going to be solely dedicated to Karai getting put in the Nora Freeze box, or
Yeah.
Shredder's grandson coming to power. If we get like a backstory on them specifically in one of them,
Yeah.
there's a lot they can do.
Definitely. I am glad that they are keeping it pretty limited to that as well, or as far as issues go, because that just means that each issue is going to have it's going to be packed full of meaningful content. No filler issues or anything like that.
So what do you think about the size format of it?
I love it. I'm very I'm glad that we don't have to buy special bags and boards or kind of finagle anything like I did with the ash can. Because the ash can was taller.
Now this doesn't really bother me, but does this bother you? This is a magazine size bag and board.
Yeah.
And it fits perfectly top to bottom, but you have that space on the sides. I know that you can get these slabbed, but yeah. So it's just going in my magazine collection.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Excuse me. Definitely doesn't bother me. I heard the guys at the local shop down here talking about, oh, well, you can cut this. I'm just like, I'm not even gonna worry. As long as it fits top bottom in a magazine bag, I'm good.
So yeah, Last Ronin, 9 out of 10.
For sure.
I have that 1 in 10 Eastman. It just made sense. It's that Dark Knight Returns homage cover. Homage.
There you go.
And I do have the Rest in Peace Jabroni, Edwin the Comic Jabroni tribute cover coming from the 616 Comics, and actively working on something to acquire that Jiang cover, because John Jiang knocked it out of the park with that one.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite Last Ronin cover.
I like that it's a wraparound too.
Yeah.
So that wraparound is definitely going to have to go get encapsulated. There's no, I would like to see the whole image. So what better way to do it than to get it graded?
For sure.
But last thing I picked up this week, not going to get into it because I'm only halfway through it, but Boom came out with another one of their standalone graphic novels. This is the fourth one I think they've done. They did Pink, Psycho's Path, Soul of the Dragon, and now Sins of the Future is getting into Time Force here and expanding on some stuff from the show that a bunch of people always said that they'd like to see more of, so they're doing it.
There you go.
About a third of the way through it. And so far, it's really cool. Me and Finn even threw some Time Force. He saw it and was like, ooh, Power Rangers. So I threw some episodes on the TV and we're watching Time Force. It's a good season. And my dad even made the comment that it was literally his favorite season because the way I won't spoil it, but the big finale at the end of it is really epic in scope. A lot of times, just like with comics with art you don't really like, you have to look past it to see the story. And the actual story in Time Force is really good. But they really were ambitious with that series with the future settings and all the stuff. So there's a lot of low budget CG going on and everything. But the villains in it are great.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like I'm watching Hercules with Kevin Sorbo all over again. They were ambitious with all the little CG monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
You go back and watch them now, you're like, no. But it's still enjoyable, though.
Right. That's when we were also watching them on TVs that were 70 pounds and about 2.5 feet wide.
Yeah. Even though the screens were still only like 10 inches.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's about all I got for tonight. I do want to mention, thank God Timeless season is over. And
yes.
If anyone's still there watching us on the replay, but we've been rolling this background on and off all month long because Alex Ross had his timeless season. There is all 33 covers behind me, including that one per store color variant up there at the top. But that was an ambitious commitment that Brent and I both made to
Oh
collect
yeah.
all these covers this month. And I don't regret it, but I do regret it.
Yeah, I'll actually
I'm glad
be
I
in
have it.
town next weekend, and I'll be able to pick the rest of mine up from Book Exchange. So I am excited for that.
And as always, big shout out to my local LCS, Paul and Donna at the Augusta Book Exchange, who make collecting as easy as possible for me.
Oh
They
yeah,
always have the best customer service, and anything that's coming out that I need, I know that that's where I always check with first. You guys are great.
good people, good people.
They really are. Finn went in there Friday. He insisted on wearing his Captain America outfit. He has the muscle Captain America suit for Halloween. And he went in there, and Paul was talking to me before he saw Finn, and Finn walks behind the counter. Hey, Paul. And Paul Paul just lit up. He started laughing. Yeah.
That's
Wearing his
awesome.
shield and everything.
Yeah, nice.
But it was good stuff. Yes, Bart. I would not forget Xena, the companion show, if you will.
Oh yeah,
Linda Lawless, Lucy Lawless.
yeah.
She was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And
You liked her in
Dead
that.
Media Collectibles in town in Augusta. Look him up on Facebook. Dead Media Collectibles. He has all kinds of cool old action figures and stuff come and go through there,
Yeah.
and movies and comics. I see a lot of old Hercules and Xena stuff come through there.
For sure.
But I'm about to wrap it up because the clock says 9:27, which really means it is 10:30, and my body's
Yeah.
feeling it. You won't quit yawning, and it's making me more tired.
Yeah, I slept like I said, I was under the weather yesterday. And I slept like 13 or 14 hours last night, and I don't think I've fully woken up from that just yet either. So
You're looking a little pale right now.
yeah, I'm like struggling to stay awake.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send this out, and this will thanks to the conclusion of the Three Jokers, this will be the last time we send out with this.
Yeah.
But as always, keep reading comics, keep collecting.
And remember that we are Legion.